You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Team Hobson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV Suits After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Suits After Show.
Hello, everyone. Bing is for doing, and we're here grooving to another Suits episode. It's season 3, episode 10. It's the mid-season finale, sad face, titled Stay. I'm Tiona Hobson, and joining me tonight, I have my 2 lovely lady co-hosts.
Hello, it's Ashida Onrae.
Hi guys, I'm McKay.
So it's the mid-season finale, so we had a bit of a cliffhanger that we're going to talk about a little later. I want to start because we finally get some closure with this Ava case that I felt like was dragging on, because it's like, okay, what else are they going to find to charge her with? How else is she going to be here? So I'm kind of glad it's over. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel the same way.
I definitely feel relieved
Yeah.
for Harvey.
I mean, and as with Harvey, you settle one thing, but then there's always something lurking just around the river bend, as Pocahontas would say. That was for you, Marissa. Disney reference. Got you, boo.
Love it.
So the case, we started off the night with Harvey apologizing to Scottie, which I was like, whoa, Harvey actually taking ownership, because he thought that Scottie was the one who got Ava to fire them and everything. So he actually apologizes and gives her some good advice. He's like, hey, you should get out of bed with Darby because things aren't going to end well for him and you're not going to be hireable. So he's trying to give Scottie a way out. Scottie, of course, being Scottie, is like, no, I'm going to stick by him, because there's the whole loyalty thing, because she brings up, I've been working for this guy for 10 years. Would you do that to Jessica? Type of deal. So
Right.
a lot of back and forth between them, I thought.
Yeah.
But he brings up a good point by saying, if they committed a crime which I had nothing to do with and I had no idea what was going on, yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
And it's only logical. Loyalty can go out so far.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But when it puts you in jeopardy, possibly putting you behind bars, then you need to reconsider your loyalty to whoever.
That's where I draw a line, too. If my boss did some stuff like that, I'd be like, who can I go talk to and tell them I had nothing to do with this?
Right.
Like, wipe my hands free and clear. What, you need me to testify? Okay, just...
Where do I sign?
Where do I sign? Give me the paper. I'll sign anything. Just don't put me in jail. I'm too pretty. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But seriously. So then, we have Jessica over here who's kind of trying to make Harvey go behind Scottie's back again by going to Ava to offer, hey, we will testify in your case against Darby if you take our names off of this lawsuit, since Scottie won't dissolve the partnership. That ends up backfiring, and that's when we see that Ava has hired Travis Tanner, who we all remember.
He's such a scumbag.
He
He fights
is.
so dirty.
He fights so dirty. He goes to that personal place where I just feel like there's a line that you shouldn't cross. But I get that he wants to beat Harvey. That is his ultimate goal, because Harvey is kind of douchey most of the time to people who don't know him and love him like we do.
Right.
So, yes, just like we're best friends, And so I get where he's like, I have to cut this cocky SOB, down a couple notches. But in doing so, he just comes off so uncharming and...
Yeah, he has no morals.
Yeah.
He's just...
I think
What is the word I'm
it's
looking
the
for?
way he does it. Because, I would be okay with it if that was part of the case and that was part of the trial, and you were trying to pull that, information in to make or build a case. But he's not. He's just throwing it at their face to get under their skin to
Get a reaction.
get a
Yeah.
reaction, get another confession, which isn't really the question. So
Yeah, like first of all, how did he know? Where does he do his research? Because I know Google didn't tell him that Scottie was engaged when she was out here last time and she slept with Harvey, and then Harvey didn't know about it and that they dated in college. I mean,
Right.
he has some good research teams working with him to find out all this information, but it had nothing to do with the case. Mm-hmm. And so, like you were saying, Emma, that's what just kind of gets under my skin a little bit with him, is that he always tries to make you act on your emotions and accidentally slip and say something, as opposed to actually having a case laid out to fight you with, like Harvey does. You know, Harvey might fight dirty, but at least he knows where he's going. I feel like Tanner just kind of throws stuff out there to see how you're going to react to it.
Right.
what sticks?
Yeah, what sticks. So in Harvey's deposition, he calls out Scottie for her relationship with Harvey, and tries to get them rattled. That doesn't end so well. Tanner then, after the deposition, goes to Scottie, approaches her on the street with her favorite coffee. Again, where do you find out how exactly someone takes their coffee? And Scottie says something here that I was like, okay, you know what? Scottie's my girl now. I love her, because she says Tanner, you already know this. I've betrayed Harvey once and it will never happen again. And I was like, that's a very bold word choice. And it shows me that she is loyal and she is trying to right the wrongs that she's done to Harvey in the past.
I agree. Good.
Which makes me question her real intentions of the merger in the first place. And if she did know about it, now that it's being thrown, at her face, now she's making the decision to dissolve the merger. So.
Wait, so if she knew that the murders?
What was going on, and she tried to bring in.
Well, I don't think she knew, because Steven eventually does say that he made that part up. I don't think she knew. I think that she does anything to try to get closer to Harvey, because she said this in past episodes, that the only way Harvey pays her any attention or respects her is when she's suing him. So then maybe she thought, hey, if we merge, we'll be working together and he can see me in a different light. And then it still was them fighting and suing
Is it
each
really
other.
that serious?
I mean,
I feel like there's no other man on the planet.
homegirl
Scottie.
called off her wedding. Well, after she cheated.
That's because she wasn't happy
did
in
the
the first place.
Yes. Well, I mean, there is no other man out there quite like Harvey Specter. I think we can all agree about that.
Yes.
True.
So then this is where the episode took an interesting twist, too, because Tanner now has Scottie called in for a deposition, says that Stephen Huntley has an affidavit that he signed saying that Scottie knew about all this stuff because she was the number 2 to Darby. And, the three of them, Stephen, Darby, and Scottie, all had all the same information and they're given the same things. This is when Donna, God bless her, goes to Mike and is like, hey, I'm coming to you because Harvey would say no. But I need to talk to Stephen because what he's doing is wrong. And Donna goes in there and gets a confession out of him.
Yes.
By playing the card, because and I think this was another spot where it kind of proves that maybe Stephen really did have strong feelings for Donna, because she kind of plays the woman card.
Right.
She's like, if anything you ever said to me was true, then don't do this. And he's like, yes, I was making it up, but this is my life, so I have to fight for it. And being a lawyer, shouldn't he know that room was recording their conversation?
Well, I think because she played on the emotional part, so it took him off being on guard and it made him more human. And he was just talking from his feelings. That's what I think.
And he never, I don't think he would have suspected from Donna.
Yeah.
And Mike being there. I think if Harvey was there, okay, that's a different
Maybe.
story. But he didn't see neither of them as a threat to him.
Yeah, that's true. But I love that they got him.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking, okay, yes, this thing's over with. That there goes, Tanner's whole case. And then turns out Tanner just did that. He was like, oh, great. I was wondering when you get some points on the board. I wanted you to do that. I'm going
Right.
to keep going after Scottie because it's hurting you in return until, you basically sign on the dotted line and settle this case, which makes Harvey, kind of have to come to terms with his feelings for Scottie a little bit because he doesn't want to see her continuously getting thrown out there and her business being aired and just all the nasty things that Tanner can actually do. So he has to have a little talk with Scottie where she finally says, okay, like, I'll dissolve this. The shackles are off. Go after him.
Right.
And I loved the last deposition because it ends with Harvey apologizing again. That's 2 apologies from Harvey in this episode, and we rarely see him apologize for things. But, it ends with him telling Ava what she wanted from the beginning, that he was actually sorry for the way that things happened. But my only drawback with Ava this whole episode was that she knows that Harvey and them did not know about those murders or at all. It was Darby who was supposed to be like your dad, uncle, whatever your relationship is with him. You knew that he was the one who did the wrongs, but why was she so adamant about making Harvey pay for it?
I think it had a lot to do with Cameron, because if Cameron wasn't involved in the trial, it would have been settled. Harvey would have won the case, but it became more personal towards him, which he did end up winning. And the reason why, Cameron kept on pushing is because Stephen and Darby gave him reason to continue investigating. And he really wanted to see Harvey lose or settle. So,
because then the other thing is that, it's not Harvey's fault that, what's his name? Cameron ended up being on the other side of, the other council that he was going up against.
I think it went back to, them dumping shares, her didn't she get fired? Then they took her off the board or something like that.
Yeah.
she lost control of
She
her
lost control
company.
of her company. And so I think that's where her resentment comes from. And then there's a lot of things that she didn't know that Harvey knew. And because Harvey and Jessica were going back and forth at each other, she was paying the price for it. And then she found out later.
That,
Yeah, so that's probably why she was so upset.
yeah.
I mean, I don't blame her for feeling the way she did, but suing the company is not really the way to go.
Yeah.
You just got off a trial. You know how it feels for, being convicted of something you didn't do or you didn't know about.
Yeah.
So now you're doing the same thing.
And basically none of this would have happened if Homegirl hadn't have bribed in the first place.
Hello.
I mean, which she was actually guilty of doing, So it's like,
Exactly,
you just go back,
exactly.
it all points back to you. If you hadn't have done the dirty deal in the first place, I know that's how things worked over there, but if she just hadn't have done that in the first place, none of this would have happened. She wouldn't have been put up on a murder trial or anything.
She should
so.
be over there on an island somewhere with a drink. That's what I say.
Yeah, after I get off on a murder case,
Yes, go
I'm probably
somewhere.
going to need to take a break from things for a minute, go get my head back on.
Yes,
right.
go meet a man. Go do something.
Go do something. So Ava decides that she's going to drop the case against the Pearson Spectre part of things, but I guess still go after Darby. I was a little confused about that, but that's settled. And then we have a little romance at the end with Harvey and Scottie at his apartment. He cooked her dinner, and all she wants is those few little words that he just hasn't said yet. He keeps saying, I care about you. He offers her a job because, his name's on the building now. Like, he can give whoever he wants a job. But, I liked how Scottie fought for it and wasn't going to let him just kind of like weasel his way out of saying,
I agree with you on that. But
that
I
he wanted
also
her
think
out.
she's just a little, it's like, move on. Because then you're always going to be fighting. That's just one issue that he has amongst many of him with his emotionalness. Why do you want to be with someone like that? It's like, so, okay, now you got him to admit. Now you have to fight something else with him talking, coming to you, sharing. It's just like,
I don't know. Sometimes,
so over it.
I think she just knows. She wasn't giving up because she knew that regardless of what he wanted to say, he did have those feelings for her. He just needed to come out and say it. And he
yeah.
kind of did.
He kind of did.
I mean, it's a
I
step
want you
forward.
in my life. Wait, I want you in my life?
I want you in my
Not,
life.
I need you in my life. Want me in your life like what? Like a sister? Like a play cousin? You know, I love you like a sister. You know, want me in your life like what?
Even though it was a happy ending, you know, for everyone, per se, I don't think they're going to last
Oh, no.
together
I
in
don't
the
think
next.
so either. I agree with you.
You know, when winter season comes back, it's just impossible to work together.
Yeah, if they are trying this whole working together thing and a relationship, if it comes to that, I don't think it'll last because those two should not be working together, but they should also not be on cases against each other either. So maybe they could find a way. Maybe she could go into like financial law or something. Like,
I just think Harvey needs to date someone completely out of the legal field, somewhere else, like anywhere else except the legal
Right, because they're
field.
always in competition with each other, and then they don't trust each other. Someone's always hiding information from the other. So I agree with you. Yeah, it's just someone completely.
because that's why I didn't work with Mike and Rachel for so long, because he was always hiding something. It didn't start working until he opened up with his secret, and finally, you know, now they have a very honest relationship where.
And look where it's gotten them now.
Yeah, I mean.
So, you know, you can't give your employer, you know, both parties in the relationship. It's just something will always happen that will mess up the relationship.
Exactly. And their relationship, I want to talk about Mike and Rachel. Rachel has a choice to make still. I kind of felt like in the beginning of the episode, Mike was being kind of a dick
I agree.
about this whole thing.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going with Rachel.
What?
Yeah.
No.
How can you say it's
wait.
not that simple? Really?
No, it's not that simple.
It's not.
Because I'm thinking this way. You know, she hasn't made a choice yet, so that's still the ball. You still have a chance to win this thing. Also, there's not a ring on her finger like that she has to stay. She's still young. She still needs to kind of go and experience. She needed to make this choice without Mike being so hard on her and kind of forcing
To
it
where
on
she
her.
will regret it later.
Yeah, because you don't. That's the one thing. 5 years down the line, you don't want her regretting her choice of staying and going to Columbia when she could, like, and wondering what would have happened if I had gone out west. Like, it's just something that I think that you should let her come to on her own and just be supportive. And then once she chooses Stanford, then be like, no, I need you to stay here and fight for her that way.
No, I mean, I completely agree with that part, but I mean, how she was putting it to him and how she was expressing what she wants, and she needed to make a list of the, you know, the pros and the cons and whatever, and he's like here, and you know, her decision is here, and it has nothing to do with one another. I'm like, yeah, it has everything to do. You introduced him to your parents. He's told you his biggest secret that can ruin his life, literally ruin his life, because he could go to jail for working and acting as a lawyer when he's not. So I think that's more than putting a ring on your finger. You're making a commitment to tell someone a big part of your life that only, 3 people know?
By the way, speaking of what you were saying, whatever happened to that scene where he said, I got into Stanford? Did I miss that?
Yeah, you weren't here that week.
Oh, okay.
So what had
But I
happened
watched the
was
episode.
Yeah, that was his letter of
Said that out loud.
that was his letter of acceptance from the flashback. Like when he got in from the
okay.
flashback. So
Okay.
he didn't get in. He was just saying like, I did get into Harvard at one point in my life before I screwed it up. Because I make
how did I
bad
miss
choices with
that?
my friends. But I mean, I get what Rachel was saying, you know, about her pros and cons list. I get where Mike was coming from too, but I just felt like he started the episode with an attitude because she's like, you haven't said any words to me, like, since we've been home. It's been all night. Like, he wasn't talking about it, and she was trying to talk it out, but he was just like, you got into Stanford. No, I'm shutting off myself.
Maybe he's in a place where, you know how men don't know how to deal with their emotions
I
and
mean,
their
clearly
feelings.
we were dealing with that with Harvey tonight too. So they're cut from the same leaf or the same cloth, however that saying.
Regardless of how he expressed it or, you know, what he said, it's evident. You can't have a long distance relationship, you know, having the workload, doing all the work in school and concentrating on school, and then, you know, when are you going to have time to keep a boyfriend?
I don't know. I mean, people already say, with or without the distance, that the first year of like law school and med school, people who start off in relationships don't usually finish in relationships. So, I mean, they already have that statistic going against them. So I think that having distance would actually be better, because at least you're not bailing on your boyfriend to, oh, I can't go to that party with you tonight because I have to study. At least he's already just away. So you're not going to be at the party anyway. He knows you're not going to be there, as opposed to being like, oh man, I've been studying in the library all day, and him not seeing you even though you live together still. Does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that it could go either way.
It can go either way. It depends on how much they fight.
Yeah.
If she went, if she chose Stanford, how much, they fight for each other.
Yeah, and I'm a believer that long distance relationships can work. You just have to put the extra work into making it work.
It's hard as hell, though.
Yeah, it's hard, but you can make it work, and people are doing it every day. So using, long distance, if you move, then that's going to be the end of us. I was like, really, Mike? Like,
I know.
Grow up here. That's what I wanted to tell him.
Well, she's the only thing that he has right now. He doesn't have his grandma anymore. He doesn't really have
Well, maybe he should go
any
to
friends.
school. Maybe he should go to
if
online.
they accept it.
It may not be Stanford, but they have, online courses. At least get the degree.
Stanford extension courses.
Yeah,
There's things. I mean, he has Harvey. He's like family. I loved him and Harvey's like two kind of sort of father son maybe big brother type of conversations tonight when Mike went to Harvey for advice, and Harvey was like, dude, I'm a
so
lawyer.
Uncomfortable. I know. He's like so uncomfortable.
He's very uncomfortable.
And all he said was, when they were in the office, I'm sorry. That's all he could muster up.
And I was like, at least you know what you're getting when you have Harvey there. Because Harvey wasn't going to try and come up with something outlandish to say, some great advice. He was like, hey, if you want advice about love, like, I'm not your guy. If you want advice about being a lawyer, this is how I do it.
Right.
And even from the way, he does things, Mike was still able to learn, like, hey, I don't want to be like that. I want to have something good in my life and you, so I will be supportive of whatever you decide. And that's all I wanted him to say to her the whole time. Just be supportive.
Well, it takes men a long time to figure stuff out.
I mean, they gotta go all the way around the block, like the long way up
the street, around the corner, in the sandbox.
Like, there's a direct line to
boundaries, so they just go in the direction you want them to go and end up in place.
I know, a little orange. Gotta put the orange cones. Go this way.
And then we also had the other hiccup in the situation.
This is when we need. What's his name here?
We also have the other hiccup where Jessica now knows about their relationship because she sees them talking in the office, and then goes to Donna, who Donna can't lie to Jessica.
And Jessica was so smooth with that. Was she smooth?
She was smooth, but it was kind of like, Donna, she's setting you up, girl.
Yes.
I was like, Donna.
I thought she was just going to slip it in, and then Donna was just going to say it.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But she just, asked her straight out.
What? So Jessica comes to Mike's apartment, and it's like, hey, you told Robert Zane's daughter my business. Mm-hmm. Remember when she wanted to get in bed with Robert Zane and like merge them together? Yeah, I remember that, Jessica. So you were putting all your business out there. You showed him like your financials, how, what's his face had screwed over the company and everything. I remember that, Jessica. But now, she doesn't like that he knows, or that Rachel knows. So she gives Mike an affidavit that he has to get Rachel to sign, basically admitting that she knows the secret. So if it ever does come out, she's hurting herself as well. So now Rachel really can't ever let this thing come out there. Otherwise, Mike will be fired.
Well, she can't have anyone,
Knowing.
having leverage over her. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
her
a
way
good
of
point.
protecting herself, even though it has nothing to do with Mike or the situation. It's just a person other than Mike who's involved, Harvey who approved it, and her knowing about the situation.
Yeah, so...
Especially when the person happens to be your competitor's
Yeah,
daughter.
and one of the most well-respected lawyers in the city. Yeah, so I thought that was a good power play by Jessica to get him to sign that. But I loved Rachel's cojones tonight because
finally
she had some big cojones as she walked right in there and was like, hey, my father told me never to sign something unless you're getting something in return. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to sign this, but you're going to waive that Harvard rule for me because clearly I'm not going to Harvard and I want to work for you.
Not for my dad.
Not for my dad. And also, like, her still saying she wants to work for someone who's forcing her to sign an affidavit, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Perjuring herself in the process. I mean, to still want to work willingly for that person, that takes a lot because I might be like, ooh.
But she knows it has nothing to do with
she knows it's
her.
business. And so, I mean, I guess we'll see Rachel back at Pearson Specter.
Specter.
The name changes so many times. I'm like, wait, which last names am I thinking of right now? Eventually. But then, you know, she does go over to Mike's apartment and she did decide to go to Columbia. So yay, she'll still be in New York. I thought it was really weird seeing Rachel in jeans because I don't know why I noticed this, but because you know what they wear in the office is always so sleek and they look so sharp in those suits and those pencil skirts. And then you see her in jeans and I was like, she still looks amazing, but she's in jeans. Like, lawyers don't wear jeans. I don't know why that was going
Talking
through my
about
head.
amazing. I think Jessica has been stepping up in her game and clothing, and Donna has been stepping down. I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you?
I just think they haven't given Donna much to do this season. She was kind of there with the Steven thing, but it really was just something for her to do.
I want to, know where Jessica gets the outfits. We want to know where, they get these collections and put it on her because it has been amazing this season.
Yeah, it's been really, really fabulous.
I want to know why Donna walks like that in the office. That's what I want to know. Can anybody tell me why?
I think she's probably waiting for Steven to come around the corner.
I saw
She's
that
used
scene,
to.
right? That scene where she went to Mike. I was like, why is she walking like that in the office? I mean, it was...
It's her Donna walk. She's got to walk.
God.
She's exuding confidence and sexuality in the office all at the same time. She's
It's hilarious.
She's like, try and talk to me. Anyone.
Yeah, but
when
it's Harvey, she's like sneaking in quietly.
Yeah, but everyone else, she has this walk of authority, and it's like, yeah, she's Harvey's secretary, but other associates and everyone, like, they are scared of her and respect her in the same way that they respect Harvey. So she kind of exudes that confidence, and I think that's kind of what the walk is like.
Because
I dare someone to mess with me.
I see, like, you're doing too much. Like, I see confidence with Jessica. But it's just this really slow.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
I think
'cause
Jessica's confidence is different because she's like, I don't have time for you, I'm the boss. Let me know what I need to know, and I'm out of here. Donna's is more like, I know I'm sexy, but I also know I kind of run the place.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Because Jessica has her name on the door. She is the runner of this whole place. Donna, is lower on the totem pole, but she has the respect of someone higher up. So I think that she kind of has to play it up a little bit more than Jessica does.
Okay.
And that's why. And guys, we want to give you we're going to take a quick break from discussing the show right now. I can talk, I swear. And we want to let you know that Serial Buddies is out on DVD today. So make sure you go out to the nearest store, make sure you purchase it on DVD, and send us a picture or something. Tweet us a picture with you and your DVD hard copy of Serial Buddies. It's hilarious. You guys hear us talk about it every week. So please, please make sure you go out and buy Serial Buddies on DVD. And now we're going to talk about Lewis and Sheila
creepy.
and their how did they describe their torrid relationship? So Lewis is still trying to find the top associate for next year. This guy Brian Galloway. So he's meeting with Sheila, who I thought they had ended things after the whole Rachel thing went down. Guess I missed something. So they're back to doing it,
Business.
literally back to business. And so, I mean, I agreed with Sheila in this way. The way Lewis treated her after they got done with their little afternoon delight, it was a little...
77 minutes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
77 minutes. I mean, that's
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Good job, Lewis.
Good job.
Lewis. 77 minutes.
Yeah, just
Longer
throw that
than
in there.
69. Stop.
So he, after their 77 minutes, she's like, okay, well, first of all, let's talk about how she got the pictures.
Oh, creepy.
How does looking at pictures of yourself
Turn you on?
I
I don't know, guys.
mean,
we want to know.
I'm sexy and I know it, but like, I'm not sure that looking at pictures of me from 10 years ago is going to be like, yes, that's when I was at my most awkward stage. I definitely want to go do it now. Who thinks like that? Lewis does.
And putting it on the ceiling.
They're already all over the ceiling. You won't be looking at the ceiling.
Right.
I love these two, but then it also
so
creeps
weird.
me out in the same way. But they're so fun together, and it kind of shows you a different side of Lewis, a fun, more playful side. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Lewis and Sheila, but he did kind of do her dirty. She's like, hey, let's take the rest of the day off and go see, exhibits. And he's like, no, I have to go back to work. She's like, okay, I get that. And then, doesn't do anything leaving. He might as well have left some money on the nightstand and walked out.
Yeah, she was waiting for a kiss, and he just grabs the folder and walks off. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You don't do that.
No, but it's Lewis.
Yeah.
So I could kind of see where, his history and relationships might
never happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's had many before, what his deal is, so he might not know. But he does find out that something's wrong because all of a sudden this Brian Galloway fellow has offers from all these other places, so he has to go talk to Sheila, and it's like, I thought we were exclusive, or, I thought he was just mine. And she's like, you can't have anything that you want, and they're talking in their lawyer, their code.
Subliminal messages.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's clearly talking about their relationship, whereas Lewis is still hung up on the work aspect and like, well, I will go talk to him myself and I will get what I want. I always do. And I love that it takes him going to talk to Mike to figure out that Sheila's actually mad about something else, like their actual relationship.
Right.
So Lewis has to go gives her another call. Well, no, he writes her a letter. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, he became so lawyerish.
He writes her a letter describing his intentions with her, I guess, and then FedExes it overnight PM delivery.
Right.
Which, I mean, if you're going to go the letter route, a messenger, at least, it seems more personable, I think. You're in New York. They're everywhere. Maybe sing a singing greeting card. I don't know.
Singing telegram.
Yeah, singing telegram. I don't know. FedEx seems very impersonal. And Sheila calls him out on it, too. She's like, hey, I'm ripping up this letter. That is the most non-romantic thing ever in life.
It is.
It really was. And I love that tonight's episode showed both Sheila and Scottie kind of sticking up to the guys to get what they wanted out of them, to force them to kind of show their hand and actually get to the point. So she gives him another task. She's like, you have to find me tomorrow night. I'm not telling you where I'm going to be, but you have to find me and come tell me what you have to tell me in person. So he does track her down. I don't know exactly where they were, but it was where all the Harvard law student files are held. So I don't know what that place would be called. If someone knows, then they can let us know.
Harvard Library? I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, is this like the library or is it her office? I don't know, but Lewis isn't supposed to be there. But he does finally tell Sheila that, he wants to be exclusive with her. So Lewis has a girlfriend. Yay for Lewis. If he can find love, everyone can.
77 minutes during lunchtime.
Yes. He's going to have a lot more.
Maybe he'll lose some weight.
Hey. Keep going at it 77 minutes a day. You might lose a little something.
77.
But Sheila then is like, oh, I have to go tell my mom that you're not a pussy anymore. And she's like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. All these files are, don't touch anything. So, of course, that's the first thing Lewis does is go look at Harvey Specter's file. And Emma, before any of this happened, as soon as Sheila walked out the door, Emma goes, I feel like he's going to find that Mike doesn't have a file. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even thinking about that.
But if she never would have said anything, he wouldn't have known what those files were, right?
He knew, because he said that this is your sanctuary where like they keep all the files.
Alumni files.
So he still knew, but telling someone and then kind of
walking, it's just
walking
It's like
away.
telling a kid, don't grab the candy from the candy jar, really.
So
And why do you need to call your mama right now?
because they're strange. Lewis looked at pictures of himself to get turned on. She's like about to get on. He's like, well, I'm gonna make love to you, and she's like, we're gonna have a picnic too. And then she's like, oh, but wait, I gotta call my mom.
You can call your mom tomorrow.
You can call her after.
We're
7 minutes.
Right, we're in a
this
moment.
has been, they probably haven't had a girlfriend or a boyfriend for how long, so this is like a big celebration.
You're right.
They need to call and tell their
It's
mom.
kind of
Yeah.
a big deal.
Okay, you guys are right.
Kind of
All
a
right.
big deal.
In their world.
In their world. So then here we go. We know exactly where he's going after he sees Harvey's file. He's like, Ross, Mike Ross. Goes through there. There's no Mike Ross file. So now Lewis, cliffhanger, mid-season finale. Lewis now knows that Mike at least doesn't have a file on hand. He doesn't know exactly what that means, but let's talk about our predictions. I think it's perfect.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So we saw a little bit of what's to come in the winter season that'll start up in January. Looks like Lewis is going to be asking a lot of questions about Mike and where he went to school and all these things that the associate last season kind of brought up at first before, you know, we kind of cut her out of the picture to make sure that she didn't reveal any secrets. And Scottie's going to be around, so what do you guys think is going to happen?
Well, I agree with Emma that Scottie and Harvey won't last. They'll just be bickering and fighting. Someone's always going to think someone has the upper hand, and there's no trust. I think that Lewis is just going to dig until Harvey and Jessica is going to have to collaborate and come up with a way to figure out how to shut him up. And I'm not sure about Mike. I don't know. I don't know about them yet.
I'm not going to do predictions. I want to say what I want to see
Okay.
next season, and I want to see new people. I want to see fresh faces. I'm kind of getting tired of seeing this whole dynamic of, you know, Scottie and Harvey and
Some new
Donna and
lawyers.
Rachel. It's like I want to see new people, new drama, new stuff coming into
New lawyers.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that
Like
they,
us. I'm just kidding.
I think that they could even use what's her name, was working with Lewis a lot, who they brought in.
Katrina?
Katrina. I think they could bring her into the picture a little bit more. Because she's kind of in and out so much. You know, it's like she's there for 1 week and then she's gone for like 3 weeks and no one even speaks about where she might be. And then she's back. I think that they could involve her a little bit more, especially now that Rachel will be in law school. She'll kind of be the person in the office, maybe, that Mike kind of goes to now. So that could be a new dynamic. Scottie, it looks like she still wants her name on someone's door. So
Yeah.
she's going to come after Jessica Hart. And Jessica, I'm not sure how Jessica's going to feel about having another woman in Harvey's life that's not her.
Oh, that's
Like
a good
in that
point.
sort of role. Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Guys, thank you for joining us all this season, and I hope that you will be back with us in the winter because we will all be here. In the meantime, where can they find you guys on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Ashida Onrae, and you can find me on Instagram, which I have yet to post. I don't even know how to work that
We're
thing yet.
taking a picture tonight and putting it on your Instagram.
Ashida Onrae on Instagram.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RealEmmaK.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson. Thank you again, and we will see you guys in January.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.